Hi guys, today I'm going to discuss a topic which most people today will talk about today's 2021 education system. Beginning in 2021 yesterday, the Ministry of Education held a meeting of its reach in 2020 and the target for 2021. At the end of 2021, we are educated online from the COVID-19 of the Ministry of Education. Much of the way the Ministry of Education has been done to keep the education going smoothly with the purpose of enlightening the children of one another by providing the supporting support of the corporation. In addition, there is the curriculum and the learning module to ease the student learning process of the COVID-19 pandemic release by the Ministry of Education. For college students, the Ministry of Education is seeking to give maximum support by asking college leaders to lighten the UKT or give new UKT to the most affected students. Then those on school leave are not required to pay UKT. Science education is an important thing for a nation and for its nation to become a great person. Then much will have to be done to achieve it as the Ministry of Education has done by supporting all kinds of things that student need by turning curriculum into better modules so that students can learn well in order to make learning easier for students. I would like to discuss some of the key points I think about the Indonesian education system. Number 1, why is education important? Education is important to me because continuing to receive education opens up my insight, and I can divide my studies with others, change my mindset to better, and also the place where I find out and develop the interests or potential within me. Number 2, how is education different from our country and other countries? I take the example of Indonesian neighbors, namely Singapore. If Indonesia has a home study policy and a delay in taking the national exams for high school students and closing school in all parts of Indonesia. It is taking a different step as other countries are closing school in Singapore and refusing to believe that students are not more vulnerable to the virus than adults. But as the virus got bigger in Singapore began to decide to close the school. Schools in Singapore have also begun launching educational program on virus and home study programs starting a week since April 1 to get parents and students to start homeschooling if needed. This is not far from the Indonesian education system when it comes to decision making from the Indonesian Ministry of Education. We have already begun doing face-to-face education at the beginning of the year. Number 3, can everyone have an education? Everyone gets an education without exception because it is his right that no one should be exempt from an education. No child who wants to learn has a shortage in the financial films or fiction financials means all deserve an education. Number 4, how will I use the education I have in the future? I will use the knowledge I had gained from studying and receiving education for several years. That is by sharing with others my skill, which is I had gained, such as teaching to ordinary people who were ignorant of the knowledge I had learned and devoting myself to my country and community.